January 20th, 2014. Guys, this is the object that came in over Saudi Arabia a few nights ago. We talked about it being led in by this green orb. It was distinct because it, unlike the other two rocks or two objects that were in this, it never flared back a tail. It moved back over to the left and either way. And when we were talking about it, the term orb and energy balls were brought up, and that these were used. And so I want to talk about that, guys, because it's important. These balls of energies. Now, you see those, you see the orbs on a lot of photographs, but many times you just got dust, guys. It's not being picked up except by the camera light. But I'm talking about this type of energy that you're looking at here. Where you see it, if you look at the videos that were linked to this from the first section, you will see that as it moved in over Saudi Arabia, many thought it fell into the Red Sea. It was hard to tell from the cell phone videos. But the eyewitnesses there in Jeddah said that they thought it did. Now, what's interesting is that, again, that orb, and as I'm just going through the different filters as I zoomed it up and increased the resolution and looking at the different temperatures here. But if you watch the videos, we watched a lot of fireballs and comets and things like that. And this is a unique structure. Again, is this object that was just behind this, and the other fireball or whatever it was right behind that one came in. This orb led them and then moved off to the left, and they came on through. Very strange indeed. But is there something more than meets the eye about this? And that's what I want to talk about. On the radio station, I was talking to Michael about it Friday, I think it was, and he said that this has been known to happen before, that these were energy balls or possibly modes of transportation used by certain of the, some people call them fallen angels, some watchers, some say some are good, some are bad, whatever. But here you see it had moved away to the left. It's in between those two balls right there. As they got closer and started burning hotter into the atmosphere, it moved over to the left. But I've seen similar things before, but nothing guiding something like this in. Now, is that possible? We don't know. But, guys, if you watch some of the videos, I've talked about the Hopi and the Native American tribes, and many of them are called the Star Nations. They believe that their ancestors came from the stars, or the star people came here, and we've heard stories back from the Sumerian text where there was DNA manipulation. But either way, genetically or inherited through direct lineage, star nations. And they believe, like many Christians, that there's going to be a return of their Savior. In their case, you've got from the Dakota Indians, the Sioux, Lakota, all through there, are now starting to realize, and it started in the mid-1990s, but all of these tribes, and from not only the U.S., but from around the world, from New Zealand, these indigenous tribes, and from the people from north of the Arctic Circle, called the Sami, and they're the Scandinavia, they're Caucasian people there. But anyway, they've even all gotten together and had these meetings and decided to start exchanging this information because they realized it was coming to the end times. And this is you can pause this, but it's standing elk was the Lakota keeper, the six-pointed star nation, and they had a meeting, and it talks about the different people that came to the meeting, including the people from north of the Arctic Circle, including the Pope Paul II. Came and was there. He participated in some of the events. But they talk about, he said he spoke of it as a child witnessing large UFO ships flying down the nearby Missouri River, green balls of light 4 times larger than a school auditorium. Through portholes on the side of these ships, he could see shadows of people inside. During one encounter, he met a 7-foot tall man in white clothes who appeared like a middle-aged Caucasian. The room was filled with light. It contained computer-like machines which operated on light and the law of thought. Now, this is not all they talked about. And they talk about getting their information from their ancestors that are returning. And during some of their ceremonies, and I'm not real familiar with them, but in a way it's like deep prayer regardless of any way you approach it. And prayers, when Christians hope that God talks to them, to Christ. Either way, guys, what we're talking about here is their prophets, their men are saying what God told them. And we hear men every day here say, God told me this, or God told me to do that. They're saying that they're returning. And they had warned them of a drought in 1997. In this, where Elder Paul Underwood gave this information out. Now, he said in 97 and 98 would start these big droughts. And it was in a cycle of El Nino, but there were a couple of unusual events that made it worse. And there was no way to know this from normal weather patterns, not even understanding the El Nino patterns. But it went from the Amazon all over the world, guys. This is in 2013. Look at the world drought there. You can see in the dark and the red images. But from Amazon all the way to Australia, guys, New Zealand, all over the world started having this unusual drought. And again, they knew that some of it was, again, periodic. The chart in the bottom right is the rainfall in Australia that started dropping out of sight. Now they're getting worse, but there was an event that happened, and what the chart you just saw is talking about the desertification along with the climate change and loss of biodiversity. Single out the greatest challenge to sustainable development in the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. Now again, the chart I just showed you was from last year, 2013. But it says severe land degradation is estimated to be affecting 168 countries around the world. Now, this was updated April 2013. You see this? That's when they're saying this just happened. Now, this is what happened. This is what threw them off. The energy released in a cosmic gamma ray burst detected in December 97 is the most energy ever detected from an explosion in the universe, perhaps making it the most powerful explosion since the creation of the universe and the Big Bang. Guys, it says the burst appears to have released several hundred times more energy than an exploding star called a supernova, which until now was the most energetic known phenomenon in the universe. Finding such a large energy release over such a brief period of time is unprecedented in astronomy, except for the Big Bang itself. Guys, the Bible talks about one of these big bangs in the end time too. But this was GRB 130427, guys. The Marcanian event was recorded, and I'll show you that it came from the feet of the Great Bear, Ursa Major, between it and Leo, the line in the constellation. It says Ferma's Large Area Telescope recorded one gamma ray with an energy of at least 94 billion electron volts, or some 35 billion times the energy of visible light and about 3 times greater than the LAT's previous record. The GeV emission from the burst lasted for hours, and it remained detectable by the LAT for the better part of a day, setting a new record for the longest gamma ray emission from a gamma ray burst. I've got it recorded, guys. Let's check this out. And this is Ferma. This is when it happened, the Marcanian event again. I know it doesn't look that impressive, guys, but that's a long way away, light years away. This is in infrared. Check it out. Now, that was so much. That was again the largest explosion ever recorded since the Big Bang. Of course, they haven't been recording them forever. Now, they say the sources of most gamma ray bursts are billions of light years away from Earth, implying that the explosions are both extremely energetic. It says a typical burst releases as much energy in a few seconds as the sun will in its entire 10 billion year lifetime. and extremely rare, a few per galaxy per million years. All observed gamma ray bursts have originated from outside the Milky Way. Although a related class of phenomena called soft gamma ray repeater flares are associated with magnastars within the Milky Way, it has been hypothesized that a gamma ray burst in the Milky Way pointing directly towards the Earth could cause a mass extinction event.